Loaded question.
I'll flip it a little bit because I would say, as an example, Enver's character was not somebody that we conceived surviving past last season. And that was true for Jamila as well, for India's character, past the first season. And sometimes actors would show up and just be so extraordinary and take on the role and expand the role beyond any of our wildest expectations, and it sort of demanded to continue to be told, and even flipped in the case of India to her perspective. Billy's character, Casper, was really the protagonist of that storyline, clearly, in the first season, and she took it over in the second season, and then obviously is the only survivor from that storyline in this season. So there were definitely characters who would come in and surprise us, and would sort of demand in the level of the acting to sort of get more and say more, and us be able to play more in terms of nuance and dimension and the humanity of those characters.
Why was it important in the first season to have like a group of kids, the different groups you had in the first season? How did you guys figure out those groups? Why was it important for one of them to be a group of kids?
We really, in that pitching it as Babel, the idea was, a lot of the time when you watch any kind of quote unquote global or invasion type show, it's told from the perspective of just an American, or it's told from the perspective of one guy, like the War of the Worlds book, like the War of the Worlds movie with Tom Cruise, and really wanted it to be as representative as possible in every possible way: age, race, sexuality, nationality. And so within that, the idea of having a bunch of school children that really didn't have like a headmaster and doing a sort of Lord of the Flies part of the show was one of the first storylines that just came to mind when David Wow and I started working on it.
Shamier, you're the one person who has been in all 3 seasons, and I'm just curious. Can you sort of talk about the differences between the making of season 1, 2, and 3? If there was, you know what I mean? You're the one link to everything.
Yeah, no, well, for sure. I think each season, first of all, keep it simple, the location changes. I think that's been pretty profound. Got to travel all over the world, whether it be Morocco, whether it be London, South Africa. So that was something that was been, a beautiful evolution. But also seeing all these incredible actors coming in and out of the show, and I thought that's really, really incredible. Testament to our filmmakers, our creatives, and also the evolution of my character, which I think has been really, really interesting. In the first season, I spent a lot of time alone. Trevante was in the desert, and I'm acting opposite all green screens and things of that nature. And then as I slowly come back into the world, I get to meet these incredible people, through Trevante's storyline and meeting all these other actors. So it's been a beautiful, blossoming of a flower. And I think, as we dwindle down to the next seasons, who knows what will happen next, if we have a next. But it's been really great, and I feel very fulfilled walking in this guy's feet, and shoes. I'm making much sense, forgive me. But yes, it's been great.
One of the things for all 3 of you is, we talked about it at the beginning, this looks like a movie. The production design, everything about it, the costumes, the sets, it looks incredible. For all 3 of you, can you sort of talk about what it's like behind the scenes, filming a show like this, and the level of quality that is being put on screen?
Hi everybody, and thank you, and thank you, Scott. Thank you, Simon, for your big mind and your world building. That's what it's like. You step into somebody's space, and David have created this way and this dream, and it's visual and it's big, and then you meet the people in it, and they've already prospered in it, and they've suffered in it, and they've worked through it, and I show up in Vancouver after they traveled in it. So that's what it's like. For me, it was a big new experience, and I felt that in my life of having worked very long in this industry, to get a call from Simon to invite me to contribute, participate in something like this was a dream come true. And so I just tried to stay really still and learn. They had already set the table, and I had a lot to learn from them just by watching them. But I was lucky because I think for many of you, you hadn't met each other. And so I didn't feel like I was too far away from I guess, bonding with him. But I won't say I was intimidated. I just said I just think I was just very curious about this part of my life and the adventure I was on. And so for me, it was like training day.
Or either.
Yes. Man, this is definitely the biggest show I've ever been on. I think end of season 2, they built that town square to destroy it. Remember that? Man, they went in the middle of South Africa. They're building like a town so that they could basically mess it up. I'd never been involved at that scale, and it's really fun. I think as an actor, you're just like, I want to be in something big. I mean, when you're a young actor, you're like, I want to be in I want to watch stuff blow up. I want to watch them flipping cars. I want to watch the explosions. And, so for the young actor in me, this is what I wanted to get into it for, to kind of fly to South Africa and watch them build a city and then stage a big final confrontation in it. And so yeah, it feels really awesome. And I didn't feel overwhelmed by like any CG, like they kept it really grounded. So, I didn't feel like, although I'm sure you've had your, maybe that all fell on you. But yeah, it was fun.
No, I'm good. That was great.
So, Simon, there's a question for you. The beginning of the show, you introduced the alien shard. And as far as I can tell, you haven't really revealed anything regarding where it came from or like the behind the scenes of it. And I'm curious, when you guys were developing the show, had you figured all of that stuff out? Like, had is there like a Bible that sort of has all that information in it so you know what you can and can't do?
There is a Bible that's got all that information in it, but certainly things evolved as we were making the show, and some things we would pursue harder than others, some things we would leave behind. I mean, one of the things I love, I know you like me and probably like all of us, is a huge Star Wars fan. And part of what I love so much about, I'm not comparing this to you, but I'm telling you what my inspirations were growing up, what I love so much about the original Star Wars movies is sometimes they would mention something, like Clone Wars, they've mentioned in New Hope, right? And I don't know that they ever had an intention of creating an animated show decades later. Mm-hmm. It was the prequel to, an episode in the middle of a story. But I liked the feeling like there was a world creation that wasn't all paid off all the time. That there was a sense of texture. So same way that as you're walking home or driving home today, you're gonna see things out the window and you're gonna not know the full story of that person. I love that. It feels very novelistic, like a novel. And I see it in movies and TV. And so we do have a sense of the grand design, but there are a lot.
Look out for that they haven't noticed that you want to point out to them.
I mean, fans today are very different than when I was growing up. They notice everything. And like.
The star been in every season.
The star in every season? Oh, Shioli's star? Yeah, Mitski's star. Yeah, that's something that we really tracked. Mitski's glow-in-the-dark star on the ceiling. And then even into her childhood home when we went to her childhood home last season. But I do think that, people on social media, and specifically Twitter, X, whatever it's called now, they not only recognize every possible Easter egg, they make up a bunch of stuff that is way more creative and imaginative than a lot of people that work on these shows. So I don't think I have any surprises that people haven't already unearthed or theorized about.
I love learning about the behind the scenes, the making of a show or a movie, whatever. So for everyone here, is there anything that you think would, fans it'd be cool for them to learn, anything that would surprise them to learn about the making of the show? Like if you could pull back the curtain, and share.
That's a good one. There's probably a lot. I have a juicy one for you guys.
I'll let you think about. I'll just answer our first season, we shot all over the world. So you were in Morocco for the most part. The kids' storyline in London shot in London. The New York storyline shot here in New York. What storyline? Oh, and Shioli shot much of her storyline in Japan, And that was 2019. Audrey and I were just talking about this yesterday, I think. That was 2019 going into 2020. We were shooting in the spring of 2020 all over the world. And if you remember what happened in the spring of 2020, a little thing called COVID happened, and we just watched one city go down after another, which was obviously harrowing in the real world, but in the context of making a show about a global invasion that was taking down cities around the world and didn't care about borders or anything else, it was playing out in a way that was really eerie, beyond the way that it was obviously terrifying in real life. And so that was sort of behind the scenes, timing-wise, it was very bizarre.
Anytime you see a scene online, I mean, Erika was phenomenal in this episode, but I will tell you, every time you see a scene that she's in, when we were shooting it, we were in stitches, because she is like hilarious. So I'm sitting there looking, I'm like, wow, she is so powerful. And I'm like, but meanwhile, she's absolutely everybody around her is in stitches the entire time. That's my
That's beautiful. Well, I am a clown, and I have to say, there's a lot of time you spend on this set. There's a lot of time you spend in the forest of Vancouver. It's gorgeous, absolutely stunning, and the crew is working really hard on days that the rain is just taking us out over and over again. And to have people that you come to not only admire and know and tell your stories and get to know and then have to kill them, unfortunately. It is what it is. But I have to say, I'm really, did I say something?
No, I'm just laughing because it's funny.
Okay, okay. That is big world building. And I think the only way to kind of take it on is to remain human. And so you try to find things that you can do and talk about politics and the things that you love, and people know I do comedy, so it's really funny. Like I said, that Simon called me to do this, an extraordinary group and troupe of actors from around the world. It reminds me of when I started in this business and Peter Brook gave me a shot to do the Mahabharata, and I thought to myself, my God, I'm come full circle, and I'm back to where I started, and feeling totally brand new and a little overwhelmed that this wonderful opportunity has found me, and I'm really grateful. And all of you are extraordinary. Shamier, fantastic work, gorgeous work. Enver, Gall, all of them. India, extraordinary. So they have fantastic taste. And Audrey, I really thank you. Many times we sat on set, but I just want to say that maybe that's what I find that people don't know, is that we're very human there, sitting there, all making these stories and playing house with a bunch of aliens.
Something fun. So obviously, when you're making a movie or a TV show, they ship you out. You get put up in hotels and apartments. And so we got to stay in Vancouver, which was nice for me because I'm Canadian, and so I got to be home. And I was in my apartment, and I'm there, and I'm at the elevator with this guy standing next to me. Yeah.
I think if you're holding the bottom, it'll block the signal.
Okay, sorry about that. This guy's in the elevator next to me, and I looked at him, and I'm like, I think we did Invasion Season 1. He looks over, and he goes, yeah. And it was Sam Neill. So Sam Neill is my neighbor in my apartment building. And part 2 of this story is we're filming on the same studio lot. And so Sam is literally in one studio, like Studio A, and we're in Studio B. And I'm like, Sam, you next door want to come by? And he comes by, because in Season 1 he's a sheriff, and in this new show he's doing, he's literally dressed as a sheriff. And so I think we sent you a photo, Simon, of a group photo of Sam Neill and the cast. But yeah, Sam Neill was my neighbor in Vancouver. It took me out to sushi, and I'm still like, oh my gosh, you're a legend. That's pretty fun.
Going down the row, do you have a favorite scene or sequence? It's a two-parter here. Do you have a favorite scene or sequence that you filmed on Invasion, or what's the scene or sequence that was a real pain in the ass to film?
So that fight scene thing, the end, like he sees my character sees Gold get shot and run. The character who I was fighting, he was so big, this actor in real life, and he was wonderful actually. His performance was great. Not really a stunt guy, because when we were going at it, he was struggling. And I was like, we're trying to make it look like a struggle, dude. You know what I mean? But I'm really like struggling like physically with him take after take, and he's so much bigger than me. I mean, when he was pushing the knife at me, I'm like, I'm gonna die. He was in character. He was too in it. And so we did take after take, and then at the end of the day, they're like, great. So now we're gonna do the big scene with Goal, and I was cooked. I was fried, and I was just like, I got nothing. So that was a hard one because I was like, the first take, I just literally, I looked at Brad. I was like, okay, let's not save that one. Give me another chance at this because I was just gassed. That's fine.
Well, it was in a previous episode, and Verna is going on this big on the tarmac to the plane, and there's been a shootout and that type of thing, and it was a very long sort of stretch walk to the airplane, and I honestly felt like a baller. I was like, Erika, don't blow this. Roll to this plane, look like a Mac, you know what I'm saying? The spiritual cult leader, all of that. I'm coming to my own. Oh my God. I have to say it felt really good. But it was tough because you wanted to get it all and take. You didn't want to blow it, And so in a way you're in your head and you're focused, but you're also like make it look easy and casual. So I was really, on the hook. But I have to say that I say it was an extraordinary experience. Like as you said, you kind of grow up wanting as an actor to be in these situations, and you don't want to blow it. And that was the thing for me that day. And plenty of other stuff. Actually, everything was pretty tough, frankly.
Gosh, I none of it was really a pain in the ass for me because for the most part I was just sitting behind a computer screen. If I'm being honest, but. And it's really impossible for me to choose a favorite because it's been now almost 30 hours of storytelling and so many characters I love and actors I've come to so deeply admire and be surprised by over and over again in dailies and cuts. I think this season, I would say part of what was so exciting, and I don't know that I have a single scene that this is true for, was seeing all these different characters come together. I think like they've lived in these parallel storylines, and there's been a little bit of overlap last season. But the design was always that it would be parallel storytelling. They would start to converge in season 2, and then they would fully come together in the 3rd season. And so to see these characters that were so distinct from such distinct worlds, in whatever form that means, come together. Just watching the first few episodes that was true for, like 4 or 5. Really 4 and 5 this season, 3, 4, and 5 episodes 3, 4, and 5 were that was really a treat. Like watching those dailies and seeing these actors come together it was kind of reminded me of Days of Future Past, where you're like, oh, there's young Charles and old Charles. I never thought that was going to happen.
You were involved in the X-Men movies?
Yes, I was.
You are?
Yes. But it's that thing where you're just like these people have never in my imagination did they fully live together, and then. There they are, and they're human beings talking to each other.
Honestly, I think that's a big part of it, coming together with everybody, and such a gift to play this. And I think for me, it's so hard to pick one favorite scene or one favorite moment, but I think what was so beautiful about this show, my experience on this show, was being immersed in different cultures all over the world. Thanks to this show, thanks to Apple, I got to see places that I never thought I'd be able to see. And so living in these different places, Morocco, America specifically, and being with the locals and down to South Africa, just being embraced by these incredible people all over the world. Shout out to our crews, Guys, it's like different crews all over the world making this show. It's like they all speak the same language of creativity and they all just get it. So really shout out the crews all over the world that brought this together. They're a big part of this and they really crushed it.
Something that I'm so curious about is certain episodes, it'll be, Shamier, it'll be your character the whole episode. And like each episode might focus on one person. So I'm so curious for the actors, what was it like? I'm not sure if you were block shooting. I don't know, like what was it like if you were not involved in an episode? Were you, still shooting on Unit 3? Like what was it like behind the scenes?
Nuts. It was a lot. It was a lot. They were doing a lot of different shows at the same time, as I understood it. because there was, I think, one of the directors got sick for a while, and then, you know, there were a couple of things that were hiccups. But I thought that that's what was extraordinary. Shout out to the crew, as you say. They kept it all going. And so in my head, I kept trying to keep, you know, out ahead a bit. But the truth is that sometimes you had 2 or 3 episodes in your head, and you're just trying to make sure that you don't jump too far ahead in your, you know, orientation, because you could be playing the end and you're not there yet. You haven't earned it. So that's what I thought was pretty amazing.
Yeah.